You wake up to the smell of fresh herbs drifting through the open window. It's a quiet morning, the sun still stretching its fingers across the sky. You blink at the early light, stretching your limbs, feeling a strange kind of lightness in the air today. The room is still, the world outside almost too peaceful, but something inside you shifts. The choice you've made, though unspoken, looms larger than the room itself. You've been thinking about this for a while now, haven't you? The idea of becoming a vegetarian. It's something that's been slowly inching its way into your mind like a growing seed, its roots tangled in your thoughts, feeding off your questions. You haven't made it official yet, haven't told anyone, but today feels like the moment, the one when you'll step across the line and never look back. You pull the covers off and swing your feet onto the floor. Your body moves almost without your command, as if it, too, has made the decision long before you. You've always been curious, of course. There was a time when you ate whatever was put in front of you, meat included, without a second thought. It was what everyone did, and you followed suit, no questions asked. But now, as you stand in the middle of your room, that simple habit feels alien. There's something fundamentally different about how you feel. Something about it has never sat quite right with you, and the more you think about it, the more you realize that the change is inevitable. You stand up, heading towards the kitchen, your mind already whirling with the possibilities of the day ahead. As your feet move across the cool floor, your mind races with the usual doubts. Can I really do this, you ask yourself, but the answer comes quickly, even before you finish the question. Yes, you can. You've already made the decision. The kitchen is warm from the early morning sun, light streaming through the windows. The refrigerator hums as you open it, the familiar sound a background to your thoughts. You glance inside, and for the first time, you see it differently. The meat, those cuts, the frozen packages, you hadn't really considered them before. You think about the last time you stood in front of the fridge, grabbing what you needed without a second thought. Today, it feels different. It's as if you're seeing it through new eyes, eyes that have made a choice and are ready to embrace it. You begin to plan your first meal, something simple, maybe a vegetable stir-fry, something colorful and full of life. The ingredients feel like they have more meaning now. The bell peppers, the broccoli, the mushrooms, they seem more vibrant, more full of promise. You pull them from the fridge, your hands moving with a purpose. It's a strange sensation, but it feels right. There's a sense of satisfaction in doing something different, in choosing a new path that reflects who you are becoming. The sizzle of vegetables in the pan is a sound you're not used to hearing so early in the day, but it's comforting. There's a new rhythm to the way you work now, a flow that wasn't there before. You mix the vegetables, tossing them in the hot pan, feeling the heat rise with each movement. The smell is intoxicating, earthy, fresh, and rich with flavor. You feel a small smile tug at the corner of your lips. This is new. This is you taking the first step, the first of many. You sit down at the table with your meal, staring at it for a moment before you take your first bite. The vegetables are crisp, fresh, and flavorful, each bite a reminder of what you've just committed to. It's a small thing, a simple meal. But it feels monumental. It feels like a symbol of change, a marker of the beginning of something bigger. You chew slowly, savoring the moment. This is the beginning of your new life. You're not sure what comes next, but you know it's the right choice. The rest of the day passes by in a blur of new experiences. You research more about vegetarianism, watching videos, reading articles, and exploring recipes. The more you learn, the more you feel a sense of peace. It's not just about food, it's about a way of life, a philosophy that resonates deeply with something inside you. The compassion, the environmental impact, the health benefits, they all make sense. But, most importantly, it just feels right. As you sit down to your second meal of the day, you notice how easy it is. It's not a struggle to avoid the foods you used to love. It's not hard to choose a vegetable wrap over a chicken sandwich. The cravings that used to come like waves no longer seem as powerful. Instead, there's a sense of satisfaction that comes from making choices that align with your values. This is what you've been looking for. By the time the evening sets in, you realize that the hardest part is over. You've made the choice. You've committed. And now, you are moving forward. The change will take time, but you're ready for it. You've taken the first step on a journey that will shape your life in ways you can't yet imagine. You finish the day with a feeling of calm contentment. The sun sets outside your window, the light softening the edges of the world. You're no longer the person you were this morning. You're something new, something better. Tomorrow, the world will feel different, too. You wake up the next morning with a clear sense of purpose. The quiet has a new weight to it, like the world is holding its breath as it watches you take your next step. The changes you've made in just one day already feel monumental, but you know deep down that they're only the beginning. The choices ahead will stretch further, into every meal, every thought, and every interaction. You've decided to live differently, and it's both thrilling and slightly terrifying. As you move through the morning routine, something shifts within you. You're no longer just cooking meals, you're embracing a philosophy, a lifestyle. The grocery store is your next stop, and as you step through the automatic doors, the vast array of choices laid out before you feels different than it ever did before. You scan the aisles with a new sense of curiosity, examining labels, reading ingredients, and questioning the familiar products you once picked up without a second thought. You notice the ethical labels, the organic options, and the vegetarian alternatives you'd once overlooked. Every decision, big or small, seems to hold more weight. The produce section becomes a place of discovery. You run your fingers over the skin of fruits and vegetables, marveling at their textures and colors, as if you've never truly seen them before. The smell of fresh produce, earthy and clean, fills your senses, and you feel a sense of connection to the earth, to the source of these ingredients. For the first time, you see food as more than just fuel. It's a part of a greater whole. A small gesture, but one that makes you feel deeply satisfied. You pick up a few items, feeling proud of your choices. The sense of accomplishment that comes with avoiding the usual meat section, the prepackaged meals, and the processed snacks is empowering. You make your way to the checkout line, your basket filled with colorful vegetables, grains, and plant-based proteins. The cashier gives you a curious look, but you're not fazed. This is who you are now, and you wear it proudly. The world around you may still be adjusting, but you know you're on the right path. Later that night, you sit down to a simple pasta dish, nothing fancy, just a handful of ingredients, but it's perfect. You top it with fresh basil and a drizzle of olive oil. The flavors dance in your mouth, and you realize how much more vibrant food is when it's made with intention. There's a new depth to the taste, a richness that wasn't there before. It's not just about eating, it's about nourishing your body and mind in a way you never thought possible. The next few days pass by in a blur of meals, shopping trips, and discoveries. You try new recipes, some successful, others less so, but each attempt is a lesson. There's an unexpected joy in the learning process, in taking something unfamiliar and making it your own. You experiment with spices and herbs, mixing flavors you've never considered before. A tofu stir-fry, a roasted vegetable salad, a homemade veggie burger. The variety is endless, and with each dish, you find yourself more and more immersed in this new world, but there are challenges, too. You miss certain foods. The occasional craving for something you used to love sneaks up on you, the familiar tastes of old comfort foods lingering at the back of your mind. It's not always easy to turn them down, and sometimes, you give in. A small bite of something you once loved doesn't feel like failure, instead, it's just another reminder that change isn't linear. It's messy, unpredictable, and beautiful all at once. As the days go by, you start to feel the physical effects of your new lifestyle. You notice your energy levels rising, your skin clearing up, and your body feeling lighter. There's a sense of well-being that comes from the food you're eating, from the choices you're making. It's not just about avoiding meat. It's about fueling your body with whole, nourishing foods that support a healthier, more sustainable way of living. But it's not just about the physical changes. The mental shift is just as profound. You begin to feel more connected to your values, compassion, sustainability, and health. Each meal you prepare feels like an affirmation of those values. It's a way to honor the earth, the animals, and yourself. You find yourself more mindful, more present in each moment. Whether it's the simple act of chopping vegetables or savoring the flavors of a meal, you're fully immersed in the process. Soon, you start to see changes in the way others interact with you. Some people are curious, asking questions about your decision, about why you chose this path. Some are supportive, offering recipes or tips. Others, less understanding, try to challenge your choices, questioning the practicality or necessity of it all. But you don't mind. You've made your decision, and you stand by it. You answer their questions calmly, explaining why you've chosen this lifestyle, but you don't feel the need to justify it. It's your choice, and that's enough. In these conversations, you find yourself growing more confident in your beliefs. You're not just defending a diet, you're advocating for a new way of thinking, a new approach to life. It's not about perfection, it's about progress, about making conscious choices that align with who you are becoming. As the weeks pass, your vegetarian lifestyle becomes more ingrained in who you are. It's no longer a new habit, but a natural part of your daily routine. You've stopped thinking about what you can't eat and have instead focused on all the things you can. The possibilities feel endless. You've learned so much already, but you're just getting started. One of the most rewarding parts of this journey has been the sense of connection it's fostered. Your relationship with food has deepened, but so has your relationship with the world around you. You've started to view food not just as something to consume but as something to be celebrated. You appreciate the origins of each ingredient, the care it took to grow it, and the people who brought it to you. Every meal is a small celebration of life, a reminder that everything we eat has a story, a history, and a purpose. You've also become more attuned to the environmental impact of your choices. You find yourself reading more about sustainable farming practices, about reducing waste, and about supporting local growers. You understand that the decisions you make, however small, have ripple effects. By choosing plant-based foods, you're doing your part to reduce the carbon footprint and conserve resources. It's a powerful realization, one that strengthens your commitment to the lifestyle you've chosen. But it's not just the world around you that has changed. You've changed. You feel more grounded, more at peace with yourself. There's a clarity in your mind, a stillness that wasn't there before. The noise of the world seems quieter, and you're able to focus more on what truly matters. The act of making thoughtful choices has brought a sense of mindfulness into your life, and with it, a greater sense of purpose. You realize that this journey, though deeply personal, is also a part of a larger movement. You're not alone in your decision. There are millions of people around the world making similar choices, living in alignment with their values, and contributing to a better world. It's a powerful feeling, knowing that you're part of something bigger than yourself. As the weeks stretch on, the initial excitement of your transition to a vegetarian lifestyle begins to fade into the background. What was once a thrilling new journey now feels like a routine, and, like any new routine, it's not always as easy as you'd like it to be. The sense of fulfillment you felt at first begins to clash with the challenges of daily life. For one, you begin to realize how pervasive meat is in the world. It's in nearly every dish at restaurants, it's hidden in packaged snacks, and it's often presented as the cornerstone of any traditional meal. People around you don't always understand your choice. Some are supportive, but many are curious in a way that borders on judgment. You find yourself constantly explaining, justifying, defending the decision you've made. At first, it didn't bother you. But now, after so many questions and awkward conversations, it starts to wear you down. You begin to question whether the mental energy you're putting into explaining your choices is really worth it. But then, a voice within you reminds you that it's not about them. It's about you. It always has been. The cravings, too, have begun to intensify. There are moments when the smell of grilled meat or the sight of a juicy steak on someone else's plate makes your stomach churn. The old familiar tastes call to you, tugging at your memories, making your mouth water. You want to give in, just once. But then you remind yourself that this isn't about deprivation. It's about choice. You didn't give up meat because you couldn't have it, you gave it up because you believe in something better. Every time you resist, it's a victory, even if it's a small one. You begin to notice, though, that with the challenges come moments of clarity. There are days when you step into the kitchen, your hands moving naturally over the vegetables, the grains, and the herbs. You chop with intention, creating a meal that feels not only nourishing but beautiful. These moments feel grounding, and you remember why you chose this lifestyle in the first place. It wasn't to avoid cravings or to win approval. It was to make a choice that aligns with who you are becoming. You also start to embrace the imperfections in the process. There are days when you slip, when you miss the convenience of a fast food meal, or when you find yourself eating something that doesn't quite fit with your vegetarian goals. But these moments no longer feel like failures. They are simply a part of your journey, a reminder that change isn't a destination, it's a process. You embrace the idea that this lifestyle is a learning curve, and you give yourself permission to stumble along the way. As time passes, the discomfort of the initial struggle begins to fade. The cravings become less frequent, and the adjustments in your routine feel more natural. You begin to experiment with new recipes, some more successful than others, but each trial is a step forward. You find joy in the creative process of cooking, mixing new flavors, and discovering plant-based alternatives you never thought possible. You experiment with lentil soups, vegetable curries, and grain bowls. You learn about the endless variety of beans and legumes, discovering how they can be transformed into hearty dishes full of flavor and texture. You start to become more familiar with plant-based proteins, seitan, tempeh, and tofu, and realize that with the right preparation, they can be as satisfying and comforting as any meat-based dish. One evening, as you prepare a vegetable lasagna, you pause for a moment to admire the layers of vegetables, cheese, and pasta coming together. You're no longer just making dinner, you're creating something beautiful. You take a deep breath, feeling the pride that comes with knowing that you've made something wholly your own. For the first time since you began this journey, you don't feel like you're missing anything. You realize that your decision wasn't about giving up anything, it was about expanding the horizons of what you could enjoy. But it's not just the food that has changed. You've changed too. You begin to notice how you handle challenges in other areas of your life. Where once you may have given up easily or shied away from difficulty, you now find yourself persevering, whether it's tackling a tough situation at work or confronting an uncomfortable conversation with a friend. The resilience you've built By sticking with this lifestyle spills over into every aspect of your life. There's also a growing sense of confidence. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself at every turn. When people ask why you don't eat meat, you answer with the same ease as if they were asking what time it is. You're no longer defending a decision, you're simply stating a fact. This shift in perspective is freeing. You realize that this lifestyle doesn't need validation from others, it's simply a part of who you are, the relationships around you begin to change as well. Some friends begin to ask about your diet, and some even express interest in trying vegetarian meals themselves. They're curious, supportive, and, perhaps more importantly, they're open-minded. The conversations become less about convincing others and more about sharing experiences. It feels good to know that you're inspiring change, even in small ways. You wake up one day and realize just how far you've come. It's been several months now, and your transformation is not just in your eating habits but in the way you view the world. There is a clarity in your thoughts, a stillness in your heart that wasn't there before. It's as if everything has settled into place, and you're finally living in alignment with your values. You reflect on how far you've come since that first meal. The discomfort, the cravings, the doubts, all of it now feels distant, like a part of someone else's story. You've built something strong from what was once fragile, a new way of being, a new way of living. And it feels right. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for you. You start to feel more at peace with the world around you, with the people in your life, and with yourself. You realize that your decision to become vegetarian wasn't just about the food, it was about living with intention, with mindfulness, and with a deeper sense of compassion. You've learned that every choice you make ripples out into the world, affecting more than just you. The journey is far from over, but you've reached a point of balance, of acceptance. You've faced the challenges, the doubts, the cravings, and you've emerged stronger. The road ahead will be filled with more opportunities to grow, to learn, and to connect with others. But you've already made the most important choice, the one to live authentically, in alignment with your values. And for the first time in a long time, that's enough. As the months continue to pass, you start to see the deeper benefits of the choices you've made. You no longer feel the need to justify your decision. In fact, your conviction only grows stronger as you witness the impact that a plant-based lifestyle has on your body, mind, and soul. The occasional craving for meat still surfaces, but it no longer carries the weight of temptation. Instead, you feel empowered to choose something better, something that aligns with your core beliefs. You've also noticed the positive effects on your health. You feel more energized than you ever have before, like there's a new vitality pulsing through your veins. Your skin, once prone to breakouts, has cleared up, and your sleep has become deeper, more restorative. The fog that used to cloud your mind has lifted, and you find yourself thinking more clearly, with a sharper focus than ever before. You realize that this change, small as it may have seemed at first, has had a profound effect on your overall well-being, and it's not just the physical benefits that stand out, it's the emotional shift as well. You feel more at peace with the world around you. There's a quiet pride that comes with knowing that your choices are not just better for you, but for the planet, for the animals, and for the future. Every meal you prepare becomes an act of self-care, an act of responsibility. You find joy in the simplicity of it. There's no rush, no need to overcomplicate things. It's just you, the ingredients, and the meal you're about to create. Your confidence in your choices grows, you begin to notice subtle changes in the way others perceive you. Some people are curious, asking questions about your lifestyle. Others seem genuinely inspired, ready to explore plant-based living for themselves. Your conversations have shifted, too. What was once a topic of defense has become one of discussion, sharing ideas, recipes, and experiences. You realize that you're no longer just living for yourself, you're living in a way that inspires others to think differently, to question their habits, and perhaps, to make their own choices. One day, while preparing a vegetable-based curry, you pause to reflect. It's not just about avoiding meat or eating plant-based foods. This journey has become something more. The decision you made all those months ago to become vegetarian has rippled out into your life, creating a deeper sense of connection with the world and your place in it. You realize that your choice wasn't made in a vacuum. It's a part of something larger, a movement toward sustainability, compassion, and awareness. You've learned that the food system is interconnected with so many other aspects of life, from the environment to human health, to the ethical treatment of animals. You've become more conscious of where your food comes from, how it's grown, and who benefits from it. Every small decision you make, from choosing local produce to avoiding processed foods, has a ripple effect, and you begin to see yourself as part of this larger change. There's a quiet but powerful satisfaction in knowing that your daily actions contribute to a greater purpose. You start to feel that the choices you make are about more than just your own health or well-being, they're about the health of the planet, about creating a future where food production is more sustainable, and where the lives of animals are treated with more respect and care. This realization brings a sense of peace. You no longer feel like you're just an individual trying to make the right choices. You feel like you're part of a larger collective, working toward something greater than any single person could achieve alone. The more you learn, the more you're compelled to share this knowledge with others. You attend talks, read books, and join online communities where people share similar values. You realize that every conversation you have about vegetarianism is an opportunity to educate, to spark curiosity, and to inspire change. But you also understand that your role isn't to force anyone into adopting this lifestyle, it's simply to lead by example. The way you live, the choices you make, the food you prepare, all speak louder than any words ever could, and as your understanding of the larger implications of your choices deepens, you start to feel more rooted in your values. Your identity as a vegetarian is no longer just a label, it's a representation of your core beliefs. You are no longer just eating for yourself, you are eating for the planet, for the animals, and for the future of humanity. You've reached a place now where the vegetarian lifestyle isn't just something you do, it's who you are. It has become a core part of your identity, woven into the very fabric of your existence. It's not something you have to think about every day, it's simply a natural part of your life. The choices you make, the food you eat, the way you live, it all flows together effortlessly. You've cultivated a sense of peace, balance, and purpose that resonates through every action you take, and as you reflect on the journey, you realize how far you've come. The person you are now is a reflection of the choices you've made. You've learned to embrace change, to navigate challenges, and to live in alignment with your deepest values. You are not the same person who started this journey, and that transformation has made all the difference. Looking ahead, you know that this path will continue to unfold in ways you can't predict. There will be new lessons, new challenges, and new growth. But you're no longer afraid of the unknown. You are confident in your ability to face whatever comes your way. This journey, your journey, has been about much more than food. It has been about finding your true self, about living authentically, and about becoming the person you've always been meant to be. And so, with each passing day, you move forward, knowing that the choices you make today will continue to shape who you become tomorrow. You've embraced this new way of life with grace and courage, and there's no turning back now. You are living the life you've always wanted, a life full of intention, compassion, and a deep sense of connection to the world around you. This is just the beginning. Even with all the growth and change, there are still days when the weight of your choice feels heavy. There are moments when you wish you could just indulge in something familiar, something comforting. It's not always easy to remain steadfast in your decision. You encounter social situations where your vegetarianism is questioned, even ridiculed, and the pressure to conform to societal norms can be overwhelming, but through it all, you've learned to navigate these challenges with grace. You don't feel the need to explain yourself anymore. Instead, you approach these situations with understanding. You recognize that people's reactions often stem from a lack of understanding, or from their own struggles with change. And while you can't control how others react, you can control how you respond. You've learned to stand firm in your beliefs, but also to remain open-minded and patient with those who don't understand. The challenges you face are no longer a burden, they are opportunities for growth, both for you and for those around you. Every time someone asks about your vegetarian lifestyle, you use it as a chance to educate, to share your story, and to invite others into a conversation about the choices they make. You no longer see their questions as an attack but as an opening for dialogue. Your strength lies not in avoiding these conversations, but in handling them with confidence and kindness.